this about defund the police and some of these great companies who funded BLM for the sake of defunding the police. And I was scratching my head, so like, does anyone realize that in order for great economic returns or good communities, you have to have good public safety? So I was scratching my head, like, where is this coming from? Where is this spirit coming from? This is not who we are as a country. And, you know, a guy, yes, coming to this town with $35, yes, that's all I had, slept on my cousin's couch. And then within 10 years, I was able to put a little over $1 million in the bank. So there's a lot of vested interest for me and my roots here in this great city, but not so that, just this country. And I was very privileged to serve on the Clayton Regional Police Academy Board. I was chairman of MARTA, the transit authority here. Got to interact with a lot of men and women that wear that blue. I had a cousin who was a captain in Zone 3 and some other relatives that are judges and federal officers, and it's very robust of public safety that's in my family. And I'm still like, where in the world is this spirit coming from? Where did we come as America to say, let's, quote, defund the police? On the backs of Black Lives Matter? That's not who we are. And so here we are having this conversation. It's like it's a nightmare the more that I think about it. For example, one of my relatives told me a story about how if it was 3 more seconds, him being a patrolman right here in Atlanta, if it would have been 3 more seconds, this domestic call that he answered, the woman would have been murdered by a baseball bat by a crazy, deranged husband. Or how he jumped in a window to a burning house to bring out a 2-year-old, didn't even know anything about them. Or to walk up to a felony stop wondering if someone's going to reach out the window and shoot him and gun him down. Many, many more testimonies. Many more across this country. And folks, you know, the success for me and my colleagues stems from good public safety. You can't have good schools, you can't have a good business, you can't have a thriving neighborhood without good public safety. So where does this come from? You know, I never thought the great mighty Coca-Cola, and by the way, this conference is not about, you know, protest or boycotting, because we're bigger. We're always bigger in the room, this movement. We're here to educate. And Coca-Cola was always the real thing. That's what we knew it. Many families flourish from that great organization. But to have this conversation, and I invite Comcast, Coca-Cola, Papa John's, Peloton, many others that got, as I call it, fell for the banana in the tailpipe. That's exactly what that was. And funded these organizations like BLM. I would say, I got an idea. Let's invite guys that look like Bruce Lavelle on the board. So when you have these conversations, someone can say that has skin in the game, who grew a business from nothing, who has other colleagues have similar testimonies like me that look like me. That says, you know, guys, I think we need to vet this BLM thing. We're going to pour millions of dollars. Do we really know this? Are we caught up in the emotions? Yeah, I was caught up in the emotions. Now, the great men and women who work in these great organizations, you're subjecting them to your craziness. They just want to come to work and learn a new skill. They want to promote. They want to be proud of who they work for. They don't want to have to come out when the clock rings at 5 o'clock and you go home and you're like, you work at that place? Didn't you guys fund the BLM that created this spirit of defund the police? Well, we're bigger than that. And so everyone that's watching this, you know, I've always said that, you know, the best way to empower your public safety is get to know your cops. You know, in my cell phone alone, true story, I have 9 of the police chiefs in my cell phone, countless number of officers, their cell phone in my phone that I know, that I engage, that I talk to, that I challenge business owners and leaders to get to know your cops. Talk to them. Don't talk this spirit of defund. And now you see the retention rate across this country. Look around. I can't blame some of these guys. You don't want to come serve. If the community won't, and the business people, especially these great corporations that came from nothing on the backs of the American people, heart and soul, that built the mighty Coca-Colas, that built the Comcast, that built the Papa John's, that built all of these organizations. Is that where they really from? Is that who you really are? No. So what we get out of the deal with BLM? Some beautiful new mansions. Yeah, let's just buy some new mansions. Because we lost track and we got caught up in this woke spirit, and we took our eyes off our own community. And we allowed the, quote, special interest group to come in and put you under some kind of guilt, when the only thing that you can just talk to people like me is opportunity. Let's talk about business, generational wealth. Let's restore black wealth that was stripped away for many years. Owning a piece of a business, being a job creator, having a chance to pick a school without someone saying, well, you can't go to that school. That's economic development. That's talking to black America. That's talking about underserved communities, not defund. My beautiful white brothers and sisters, especially, I want to talk to you especially. When you talk about defund the police, look at the people who are saying it. Look at the social economic class they're in. Because when you cough, my beautiful brown brothers and sisters catch the pneumonia on those decisions and die. Hear me. Is that who we are? Stop the pandering and the wokeness. Treat me the way you want to be treated. Don't give me any special, well, this is the BLM. How about all American lives? One blood, one nation, under God, and to the republic for which it stands. That's who we are. So stop it. Coke, Papa John's, Comcast, all of the Fortune 500 companies out here, your job is to take care of your employees and put a magnificent product out there and create an environment where your employees want to flourish and learn and promote and come out at 5 o'clock and brag about how great your company is. Not that, our company is under scrutiny because they gave this and gave that. Stop it. Support your local church. That's what the faith-based communities are for. Faith-based communities, yes, that's for all. Your local schools. Your police, call them over and invite them over. Give them a hug. What's wrong with that? Say, hey, we appreciate your service, and try ways to fund them. So when they put that badge on, they stay forever. They retire. They don't get in there in a year or two and say, oh, Lord, I got to leave. And you have this constant turnover. Why is the city of Atlanta and other cities having a nationwide search for police officers? Why was the riots here in Atlanta when some of our leaders sat back quietly and would not challenge the BLM and challenge these other people coming in here terrorizing and looting and destroying the city under the name of what? BLM? Come on, guys. We're bigger than this. We are bigger than this. We are the United States of America. Somebody has to be the leader of the free world. The world watches what we do. That's not who we are. Let's get back to doing business. If you own an airline, just tell the people, our job is to fly our passengers to and from safely on time and create a great work environment for our employees and our patrons. Don't get all out in the weeds and trying to make decisions on a handful of board of trustees or board members saying, we just know what's best for you. We're going to tell you where you need to vote. We're going to tell you what you need to boycott. How about shut the freak up and take care of the business? What you swore to be the trustee or the overseer of the public traded company. The product, the employees, the customers. Remember them? Remember those people? My mother always said, baby, don't cut your nose off and spite your face over your foolishness. And stop letting the crazy enemy rent space in your heart and mind on your real mission. And your real mission is this great nation. One blood, one nation, under God, for which it stands. This conversation always gets me a little emotional because I think about the brave men and women who perished, who died trying to defend someone's neighborhood, or run up on a carjacking and they opened gunfire, or the several officers that were murdered in Dallas Y'all remember that? And we tried to go out there and back the blue, and we had to fight all this craziness. That's not who we are. Ladies and gentlemen, without good public safety, there is no society. Newsflash, you can run and move and wherever you want to go, but if you don't have a, quote, robust public safety in your community, it will never survive. It will perish. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lavelle. I am also proud to be joined by a friend and another board member of Concerned Communities for America, Pastor Mark Little.
Thank you so much. It's good to be with you and with you all. I am Pastor Mark Little. I'm the Executive Director of Cure America Action. And I'm also a proud board member of the Concerned Communities for America, also known as CCA. First of all, let me just share my heart with you. And my heart is that we have been scammed by Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation. It's a scam. And we've fallen prey to it to the extent that our communities are now in jeopardy. The folks who have taken money and they've bought mansions with the money that these corporations that we're talking about today gave them. We've been scammed, and corporate America has been scammed. Let's just set the record straight. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. Do we really support that? So let me get right to it. I've learned in my ministry and in life that you get what you pay for. In this case, what you don't pay for. Violent crime is rising, especially in major U.S. cities like the one that I live in, Los Angeles. You can look at New York, you can look at Chicago, you can look at Houston. The list goes on and on and on. And Black Lives Matter is the culprit. The major reason I believe, in addition to weak prosecutors in those cities, is the 2-year destructive campaign of words and actions by the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, its leaders, and their affiliates, who, by the way, we see getting locked up for fraud and crime all over the nation. We're not trying to become real estate barons. These, quote, BLM leaders have been spewing hate against the men and women in blue. In fact, their behavior has led to executions of the people that we rely on to protect our communities. These people put their lives on the line every day to protect our homes, our grandmothers who are sitting at home while we're out working, and they're sitting in the home, unprotected, because leaders who are in fear of being called racist have taken millions and millions of dollars from our police forces. And these men in blue, these men and women in blue, have been unable to protect our homes, our stores, our businesses, even our churches. And in some instances, even our modes of transportation. This has gotten out of control. And we're here to say no more to those who would fund this foolishness. What they have been doing, I call it the 4 Ds. Defund, demean, defund, demean, and cause our police to die doing their jobs, protecting and serving all of us. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. We shouldn't have to exist. This is wrong, and it's got to end. Your funding of foolishness has to end. Many of the BLM founders and leaders continue to this day to preach this foolishness, even calling for peaceful protests. And sadly, these supposedly woke corporations we're talking about today have and continue to aid and abet these BLM leaders with their vocal and financial support, helping BLM leaders amass a reported treasure trove of hate-mongering blood money totaling in excess of $100 million. I've heard $1 billion. $1 billion. Ask the family of Michael Brown where BLM got started, and they exploited that family. And the family of Michael Brown today will tell you they haven't received any support from these people. Black lives don't matter. Mansions matter. And those who are supporting it, you look foolish, and shame on you. It's time for Papa John's, Coca-Cola, Peloton, got enough trouble of your own, Comcast NBC, to admit the error that blind support, focus on the real heroes among us. Stop your blind support. Focus on the heroes that, by the way, protect even your own family, your own mothers, your own grandmothers, your own daughters as they go to and fro to school. What's wrong with you? We've got to focus. We've got to focus, and we need you to sign the pledge. Sign the pledge that has been delivered already here in Atlanta and will be delivered tomorrow in New York. Stand up and act like you got some sense. Let's think about it for a minute. The women and men in blue are our first line of defense. And they stand by and for the safety of these folks who buy your products. They stand by your companies and the people that work for you. Do these folks want less police? As they buy your drinks, your pizza, your workout bikes, or watch a show on your TV, do you really think they want less security? No, of course not. They want more police to protect them and their families. When asked in a poll recently, black and brown people, to the question of do they want security in their communities, the answer, and I embellish, was hell yes. In fact, not only did they say they want police, but 82% said they want more. These are the people that buy your products. You're catering to the wrong constituency. Many corporations have been scared, fearful that they stupidly will be called racist, no matter their goodwill and good works. And they have cowered to a group, have to say it, they're Marxist morons. They said it themselves, they're trained Marxists. Since when do we bow to Marxists in the United States of America? Have you lost your mind? Trained Marxists. You're writing checks to trained Marxists who want to destabilize the nuclear family in America, the very thing that our communities are built on? They want to take men out of the home? Yeah, I think you've lost your mind. And somebody's got to tell you. Yeah. These Marxists, they've infiltrated our schools. They've even infiltrated our churches. Clearly, they've infiltrated you. Corporate America, Disney, lost their minds to woke culture. A woke culture made up and birthed out of Karl Marx, a man who became a Satanist. We're watching that agenda infiltrate your very C-suites. You walk around thinking that you're doing something for the community. No, you're looking like a fool. And eventually, it's going to catch up to you. When your share prices begin to drop and fall, just ask Disney. They've infiltrated every aspect of our society, from prosecutors and DA's offices, so-called intelligence agencies, and clearly much of our media, sadly, even the White House. Friends, we've got a problem, and we're here to say no more. Sign the pledge and regain your dignity. Papa John's, Coca-Cola, Peloton, Comcast NBC CEOs, sign the pledge to right your wrong. And today support our white, black, and brown Americans. All of us. Support us, the people who actually are responsible for the soul of America. Not the Marxists who want to destroy America. Who will you stand with? There's a word that it's called repent. It means turn. A 180-degree turn away from wrong and start doing something right. So I encourage you to show America that you're not the fool that you appear to be. Sign the pledge. Protect our men and women in blue. Stand with our men and women in blue. Reject the notion that police departments should be defunded. Sign the pledge. God bless you. And God bless our men and women in blue. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Mark. So the pledge we delivered today, it's simple. It reads, as the leader of Coca-Cola, Papa John's, Peloton, Comcast NBC, I now realize that our vocal and financial support of the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation was short-sighted and did not fully contemplate the ramifications of their words and actions. Those words and actions included defunding, demeaning, and violence against the men and women who serve our communities as police officers and put their lives on the line every day across the country. Going forward, I pledge that on behalf of myself and the men and women who make up my company, we will strive to vocally and financially support our men and women in blue, as well as the millions of first responders, military personnel, and their families that protect us every single day from those who wish to do us harm. Thank you for being here, Mark, Bruce, and now I will open it up for questions.
Are you calling for a boycott of Coca-Cola and Papa John's?
No, we are not calling for a boycott. What we're doing is education. We seek to educate these corporations on the error of their ways, not boycott them for any reason. Any more questions?
Have they signed your pledge?
As of today, no. No one has yet signed the pledge. We issued letters to each of the CEOs earlier in the month, and we followed those up with second round of letters. And then we followed that up with the pledges that were delivered this morning, along with pledges that will be delivered tomorrow in New York to Peloton and Comcast NBC. Our goal is to not only get them to sign the pledge, but get them to agree to a meeting with our clergy and our leaders to further discuss ways that they can actively support and, in the words of Pastor Mark, repent for their blind support of the BLM Global Network Foundation. So we would like to thank you for your time and your participation in today's event. And we thank you all who are watching, and we pray that you will continue to support our work and the communities as well as the men and women in blue. Thank you.